So there's this experience that can happen for people when we meditate, and I've seen a lot of people actually experience a certain degree of embarrassment to talk about it. So I want to use this video session to kind of take a look at specifically what's going on. Sometimes when we meditate, we cry. It can come out of the blue, just randomly, the tears will start to roll. Or maybe you're actually dealing with something really difficult and you sit down to meditate and that feeling of grief or sadness or overwhelm really starts to bubble up to the surface. And typically people think that there's a problem going on when they start to cry when they meditate. But actually there's a saying that goes, if you haven't cried yet in your meditation, you haven't yet begun to meditate. So what we are intentionally doing when we meditate is we're practicing letting down our guards. For most modern busy people throughout the course of a normal day, we need to keep our guards up to a certain degree because we need to function in all of our various roles and activities. We need to be the in-charge mother or father. We need to be the on top of things scientist or the school teacher or whatever it is that we do throughout the course of the day. And so we have to keep certain things going on in the mind and in the heart at a certain distance so as to be able to fully participate in the functioning of our day-to-day lives. The only other time that we really let our guards down in normal living is when we go to sleep at night. I mean, if you've ever seen someone when they're sleeping, it's like, drool's coming out, weird noises are coming out of the body. It is the ultimate letting down of our guard. And this is why it can be such a common experience to wake up in the middle of the night and suddenly start worrying that you have a brain tumor or be really fearful about some experience you had with a coworker or what's going on with your kids. Things that during the light of day might not give you a second thought can really seem to get really big in the middle of the night. This is because when we go to sleep, we let our guards down, and if you wake up in the middle of the night, your guard can still be down, and all of those things that you've kind of kept at bay, the worries, the fears, the anxieties, whatever it is, can really bubble up to the surface. And then the next day you look back on that 2 a.m, worry fest, and you think, what was that all about? Because now the light of day is here, your guard is up, and you're functioning in your normal capacity. But in meditation, we are intentionally practicing letting our guards down, and for the very reason that we can enable some of our issues, some of the things that we've compartmentalized or pushed away or held at bay so as to function in our modern busy lives. We let our guards down so that these things have an opportunity to rise to the surface so that they can ultimately be released. The wave can never pass if we're always keeping it at bay. So in meditation, we practice letting down our guards, and you might notice certain feelings, even the tears might start to roll when we do this. And this is perfectly fine, and in fact, it's one of the very main purposes of a practice of meditation. Things cannot be released and healed from if they're constantly being kept at bay. So the next time this happens to you, if it does, don't worry. See if you can just allow yourself to fully feel whatever experience is rising for you. Become present for the feeling of the tears, the feeling of the upset, the feeling of whatever it is that's rising. And they say it only takes about 90 seconds for an emotion to fully clear the body. So just as all things in nature, this feeling of upset, sadness, overwhelm, whatever it is that's rising for you, just as it will rise, it will also fall, just as all things in nature. The gift of allowing something to rise in your meditation practice is that you also get an opportunity to watch it fall, and you're still just sitting there. It didn't kill you. one of our main fears of allowing things to rise up within us is that it's going to get so big in the mind that it's going to stomp us out. It's going to give us that sense of overwhelm. But when you sit and just allow some of these feelings to bubble to the surface, and you just stay sitting there, the feelings will rise, they'll fall, and they didn't stamp you out. So you get the gift of learning that not only that this too shall pass, but that you had the strength of mind, of heart, of whatever you want to call it, to stay sitting there, to stay breathing, and you survived. I hope so much this is of benefit to you, and thanks again for showing up.